The chief technology officer of Facebook says he did not know about a massive purge of millions of fake accounts last year. The company announced last April it was deleting fake accounts in response to the rise of fake news online. Facebook CTO Mike Schrepfer faced British lawmakers today when asked questions about the purge. Here's what he said.
I wasn't involved in this specific announcement. I don't have this doesn't stick out in my memory as a particularly notable thing, and I would probably remember if it does. So I am mostly speculating because what I do know is that the volume of work we do on a regular basis. We purge accounts on a regular basis. I don't know the specific circumstances you're talking about this.
Who in the top level of your level at Facebook, who would have been responsible for this?
There's a team dedicated to integrity issues and security issues. It'd be helpful to understand what is the root of the information you're looking for, so I can make sure I'm giving you a better answer.
Yeah, sure.
And the source he is asking about is this CBS News article. It explains that U.S. Today's official Facebook page saw more than 38% of its likes erased in the purge, suggesting that close to 6 million of the accounts following the news organization had been fake or bot accounts rather than real people. Here to discuss this is Tech Republic senior reporter Dan Patterson. Dan, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Is it possible that the CTO of Facebook simply didn't know about the purge of all those accounts?
With tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands, it's very possible with a company the scale of Facebook. But when we look at millions of accounts, it's very unlikely that they were not aware, simply because their model is advertising. If you have millions of fake accounts, you need to know that.
Absolutely. Now, we've also heard from the CTO that Facebook did not read the terms of service on that app that led to the Cambridge Analytica data scandal. Do you believe that, or is that common procedure?
I think that this is a fantastic excuse, and we all make this excuse when we say, well, I just signed up, I didn't read that long list. Facebook can afford very good attorneys. For them not to read the terms of service of an application seems pretty unlikely.
So you think that they knew the terms of service, they just didn't worry about it?
I think it's likely that they were aware of the terms of service, but I think it is equally likely that they just didn't worry about it.
So is all of this news likely to hurt Facebook stock at all?
Well, we saw with the earnings call yesterday that users seem pretty happy, or in the language of former Facebook employees, addicted to the platform.
Yes. I mean, you and I were talking as Mark Zuckerberg was testifying before Congress, and we saw the stock going up as he was speaking.
Correct. Now, one thing we should note is that a scandal like Cambridge Analytica is serious, it's important, but it's something that doesn't necessarily hit the real users in their heart. It won't eliminate their use. However, shareholders will certainly be impacted by millions of fake accounts. There used to be a saying in advertising, 50% of my advertising is wasted, I just don't know which 50%.
Absolutely.
With Facebook, if these are fake accounts, now you know which advertising dollars were wasted.
So speaking of ads, let's talk about how some of these ads are created. More and more we're hearing people say, look, I was just talking about a product with my buddy, talking about it, and then you'll get an ad for it later on your feed. I mean, these sorts of things are really, really spooky to people. Are we seeing more of this?
Well, we see more passive listening and passive monitoring in our own homes. With the Internet of Things, we are bringing devices like Alexa into our home. We know that right before the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal broke, Facebook was preparing to launch their own passive monitoring listening speaker, smart speaker in the home.
And Cambridge Analytica whistleblower Christopher Wiley talked about this. We have sound from him. Here it is.
My understanding about how generally companies use it, so not just Facebook, but generally other apps that pull audio, is for environmental context. So, for example, if you have a television playing versus if you're in a busy place with lots of people talking versus something that sounds like a work environment, that adds. It's not to say that they're listening to what you're saying, so it's not natural language processing. That would actually be quite hard to scale. But it's to understand the environmental context of where you are It's not to say that all audio has to be somebody speaking. There's audio that could be useful just in terms of, are you in an office environment? Are you outside? Are you watching TV? What are you doing right now?
Yeah.
It's spooky listening to that. Is there a way to prevent apps from pulling audio?
Well, there are a few things that we can do to prevent apps from pulling audio, and a lot of times we find this to be very useful, again, with our Alexa or our home devices. We don't know what Facebook listens for or what they look for, but we know even the Apple Watch looks at barometric pressure to count flights of stairs that you go up and down. One of the best things you can do if you have very sensitive information is to put that device in the fridge. Not the freezer, that will hurt its battery, but put it into the fridge when you have sensitive conversations. The other thing you can do is delete applications that you do not use, especially apps that ask for permission of the microphone.
Put it in the fridge. I like that idea. That's better than putting it in a drawer, right? It's more soundproof in the refrigerator.
It's much better than putting it in a drawer.
Very, very good advice. Now, moving on to another subject now. Web browsers have a private browsing feature to keep you anonymous. How well do these work?
Well, they certainly don't keep you anonymous. This private browsing feature is something that allows us to shop without targeted ads popping up as we shop or browse the web. These are not anonymous. Web browsers drop what's called a cookie. This is a little piece of data that saves the state of the web browser, meaning you stay logged into Twitter or Facebook. It will remember your recommendations, and generally consumers like this. In fact, websites use this to track users and to serve targeted advertising in a pretty benign way. But third-party advertisers and third-party cookies could send data and profile you to places that you are not aware of.
So do you have any tips for blocking those?
There are a few tips for blocking these cookies. One is to simply clear your cache and cookies on a regular basis. Another thing you can do is download a VPN. Proton Mail, the encrypted email service, makes a VPN, and ProXPN is a very good, affordable VPN. Another thing you can do is use a password manager to make sure you use long and encrypted or long and diverse passwords for every site that you visit.
Now, all of this just works for web browsers, but not for Facebook, right?
Correct.
All right, Dan Patterson, thank you so much for seeing us today.
Thanks, Tanya.
And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more CBSN. Don't go. And coming up after a short break.